The bed is comforting. Across the...
Thoughts, baby.
Recorded in you.
On.
Behold.
It's the... You can never forget.
Oh.
You're the...
Reading your own.
You.
For the great, forever.
Solving your little crossword puzzles. Doing your tasks. Crossing names off lists. Trying to become some sort of world detector. It won't make...
He's got no idea what he's in for.
Beep.
Do it. Hey, Moneymouth. Indrak, the impeccable hustler provider of the 7th generation. It's showtime with Savvy. What's up? I'm worried about what's down, broke boy. I'm talking about your severe lack of money. No, you don't. You just keep muttering about your economic self-interest and not doing anything about it. Yeah, I heard you back there. What the hell was that? Brilliant. Catastrophes are prime time for moneymakers, but you're not really reaping any benefits yet, are you? No shorting, no shameless speculation. Listen, if you really want to make it in the big leagues, you need to reconceptualize your entire portfolio. Collecting tear and moaning about taxes is not going to cut it. You need to become a millionaire. Now, how do you become a millionaire? Those guys, they're all financially illiterate. Only Savvy here knows how to dazzle and embezzle money out of investors' pockets with the acrobatic prowess of a 4-time gold medalist in the Samaran Gymnastics Summer Games. The ancient Samaran tribes used carved rhodochrosite to represent their wealth. The bigger the boulder, the more money they had, in case you needed to know. Not unless you have thousands of them stuffed away in secret. And then what? Join the ranks of blue-collar criminals? Of course you don't. You've never even been close to a sum with more than 3 zeros. Let's face it, you've been on a years-long losing streak. But Savvy's got your back. Savvy's going to book you a charter flight with 80 birds of prey on board, to a land where the streets are paved with Krugerrands and fixed income securities. You'll try again, but this time with money. You'll win her back. Are you in? The spirit of ultra-liberalism, your charm, your spin, your winning hand. Attaboy, welcome to the final grind. Here we operate with money on a much higher level than the ordinary citizen. We feed it back into the machine. Stop saving, start spending. Become a patron. Let's start by getting you into the lucrative art market to diversify your assets and increase your ROI. Speaking of which, know any artists? You're right. She has the poise of a struggling artist. Very tangible. You can feel the poverty on her. Plus, she has paint. Go and support her like the state never could. Everyone must know that you're a big fucking shark around here. The paintbrush in your hand is like a loaded revolver. What will it be, desperado? Quite. You've spoken.
Very poetic.
There, on that balcony. Do you see it? Artistos are known to repel wealth. It bounces off their skin like rubber. The moment a reasonable business proposal enters their periphery, they go and get political. Nonsense. No one repels wealth. The businessmen just don't know how to entice them. It's true, some of them are known to turn the entire thing into a happening. What you need to do is lure them in with a strong one-liner. Get them on your side before you've even finished a sentence. Show us what you've got. Pretend you're facing the Skull Girl. What is this? A dating agency? Are you looking for a pretty young thing to sponsor? Never mix business and pleasure. Never. Mamma mia, if this isn't the top seller in La Delta. Everyone knew you'd eventually get it right. Okay then, off you go. Let's see what you've got.
Hello again, officers. Have you come to admire my mural? What's that? The piggy's looking to get into the art market with a snappy business pitch. Watch out, or you'll be auctioned off and face the chop.
The lieutenant straightens his back, waiting to see where this is going. Are we witnessing a performance, perhaps? Play along. Relax. It's all part of her image. No one speaks to a police officer in that tone. Show the little missy here her place. She stares at you, fearlessly, waiting for a response.
This little persona will grind you into a sausage if you don't stop. I'm not a sellout. The whole point of graffitio being on the street is so everyone can see it. No charge, expression for all.
There has to be a way to convince her. Everyone has a price.
I thought you were a pig. Ooh, little piggy knows the big words. What a waste of a perfectly good saucisson, stuffing it full of art speak. Sorry, even with your fancy degree, you've got nothing to offer me.
Perfect. She isn't interested. All the more reason to move on from this little side task.
Your partner here gets it. Anything else I can not do for you, gentlemen?
Sure, she's all draped up in ironic detachment, but everyone's gotta eat.
Great. The little foray into the art world continues.
Blah, blah. I'm not for sale, piggo.
Told you these artist types repel wealth. Turn it around. It's the seller who wields the power in this relationship.
Uh-oh, you're manipulating me. I do like a chance to rip off some stupid piggos. And I need a pack of cigarettes. And some paint. Okay, whatever, piggy. Time to leech off each other like the parasites we are. Let me see what I've got.
Even the lieutenant leans closer to inspect the work.
Here. Happy?
Interesting. You can immediately see multiple ways to interpret this piece. What is the experience that the artist is trying to create? What bodies and spaces are they seeking to explore? Remember, this is a buyer's market. You're the one who's in charge of pricing. She juts out her hand, letting you examine the piece. 3 red splotches have been shot at a diagonal across the surface. Tinier crimson spots fan out from the same point of origin.
Well, Piggo, what do you make of it?
The angle of the paint drops reveals that they were fired at the canvas with the force of a hand cannon.
Yes, my artistic integrity. Signature? Oh yeah, Pigster. I sneezed while holding a wet brush. Paint flecked onto the canvas, and voila! You don't get more signature than that. Art issue. 67,000 real, and your head on a silver tray.
Remember, this isn't about the art or the artist. This needless purchase implies your excessive wealth. Art comes across as more tasteful than simply hanging cash on the wall.
That it? All right. It all helps.
Splendid. Your first physical asset. But no time to stop. Money grows old unless it keeps moving. You need to find a buyer, preferably someone who will pay a high price for such an exclusive piece from... Nah, she'd probably send the entire Wild Pines legal team after you if she knew you were trading goods around their harbor. She's ready and poised for a hostile takeover. And become a small-time art peddler? No, think bigger. Doing business with communist dictatorships only works if you've got long-term plans in place, which you don't. There must be someone around here with heavy pockets and an interest in the local art. Tell you what, have a wander around and I'll let you know if I hear any wealth. Yes, if you know what to listen for. That's what happens when you've been in the game for as long as I have. Your senses get tuned in to more opportune frequencies. I got some vibes from that container you moved with the crane in the harbor. Let's see what's inside. There isn't a door yet that Savvy's VIP status couldn't open.
Look at us, coming to an agreement. Who'd have thought? Anything else you want? I'm in a good mood, but it won't last long.
You see, a cargo belt twists his neck at an
He's about to...
The smell...
Active decay. It's okay to throw up, officer. No one is judging.
Too late. It's until a pool of... The smell of Commodore Red.
Keep it. The hangover is clearly making this work. If you can handle the headache. Some officers use it. I can't handle the headache. That young woman, if she...
Acquiring ammonia will...
A small cabinet on the wall is...
Yeah, there's like an ampule something. Okay, don't like over.
There is... The man, the material... These are clearly...
Indeed.
Oh, it's clearly...
Ceramic under the hill, piece by piece. We should keep a lookout. No.
Nice.
They.
Clearly.
We should keep a lookout for.
The Sabatons dangle...
It is. We've for
the northwest region of...
Not.
The lieutenant nods.
Looks like he worked for a private contractor. Like every...
The metal can... The own...
Did you hear that? This is a...
Faint, like whirls of floorboard. If true, the whirls are in a shape.
Good.
X5.
We have a make and a number. That...
This feels... The stench.
Stop! Pig's gonna...
You're about to put...
Do it, homo!
Yes, that's what I said.
Indeed.
What are you trying to achieve anyway? Why are you hanging on to that boot? How many clues? There's no...
You're sure there's a way to peel them off. But first, the body needs to be down. And second, it would probably be better if the lieutenant... The anticipation makes you crack.
Processing will take care of them. With the situation...
The cadaver slowly... The hangman... This...
Airlifting. The local hub. Right now, I was afraid it would be. A noose. That ladder.
Could be. The shape... The cadaver hang... An inch is called alcohol.
A map of...
As if some...
So am I.
He takes a
A trigger.
triggered.
And in...
This...
I have only 2 ampoules, so nobody move. I don't want to waste one.
A sound. A shrill flash. Followed by the breaking of...
In case we... Yes. It is pretty cool, isn't it? It contains insight to the victim's person. Sure.
The glossy...
You've acquired an interact.
His these dark brown hair grows on his head.
In the... I'm a There is... Go ahead. What do you... It's him.
Yep!
He loves that. Because you're a cop. Here you go. Fuck no. You ain't no tequila sunset. Good for you. Fuck no. You're not a hat. Because you... Do I...
A child born with molars.
You sure wrinkled out of that. Come back later, cop.
As you know, this... Only the lower extremities.
I see.
The monster.
So, what do you think? I agree.
There are... His
Totally dead. That sounds about right. Agreed. Especially on the neck. Everything here seems to corroborate that as to purposefully mislead us.
The pool...
The victim...
The fuck...
Talk.
Maybe. I do.
Stop. It means you fucked him up good,
But there is no breath.
Are you sure we finished the preliminary examination of the...
He doesn't actually...
The cadaver is a good 1.2...
An acrobatic maneuver would solve this situation.
Yeah.
How?
With a buckle ties...
Where?
Yeah.
Don't miss.
The lieutenant is undecided. On one hand, he wants to shoot someone. The lieutenant's brow is furrowed. He...
I'll blow it.
Take it. Take the shot.
Yeah.
Silence and produces a lightweight firearm. He drops a paper cartridge in the barrel, separates the scouring stick, and gives the cartridge 5 taps. That's it. He then steps back and assumes the fellow's desk position, taking aim.
He's gonna...
The kid's voice is drowned in a shrill blast that
God damn it.
a lot of things.
Kuno could have hit it easy. Kuno study.
The lieutenant doesn't say a word.
No, any more mistakes could put us in an unfortunate position with the locals. I have to say...
You know, you don't feel like too bad of a shot yourself.
It's bad as... Go ahead.
This is the sod.
Yeah, take it, you fucking banana boyka!
The cold piece of
The fuck are you?
the buckle comes.
Why don't you just shoot yourself in your mouth? At least you won't miss.
Your field of view, the slow movement.
Look, he's crying. You gonna cry now? Or what? You gonna fuck me? You wanna fuck me, pig? Is that what it's about?
The buckle explodes into tiny pieces, coming loose with a whir. With your hand numb from the recoil, you look at the body slump down. For a moment, the man appears to kneel in front of you, looking straight at you, helpless, trapped within itself.
Communism.
It takes a millisecond for the association to flash within your cortex. You have no idea where it's coming from, only that it's right. Then the rigor in his muscles gives up, and he smashes sideways into the spring mud, letting out a horrid stench.
Well, fuck you, Kurpale!
Ace is high.
The Ace is High, a custom invented by the aerostatic brigades during the revolution, is used to celebrate success in Revachol, especially in sports. The gesture is spread across the world, despite the defeat of the revolutionaries themselves. The lieutenant takes a little hop to perform the customary salutation. Your palm hurts from the slap. It's precise and down to the point.
I knew these guys were
Kuno cracks with laughter. Sounds like someone strangling a seagull. It's clear he enjoys himself.
I knew they suck each other off.
We will perform a field autopsy and determine the cause of death. But before... Excuse me.
Slumped on the ground like that has not improved the way the corpse smells. The fall seems to have released something deep inside it.
It looks like I feel like taking a break from the stench. I'm sorry to interrupt the jubilations here. Just a little breather before we do the autopsy. Yes, the 4 phases of a murder scene. 1. Investigation of the scene. I'm satisfied with that part. The trash container, the prints, we've been thorough enough. 2. Initial examination of the victim. We were exhaustive in our efforts there. Good job. 3. Field autopsy. This will not be pleasant or easy, and it will have to be performed on the scene.
The fuck are they on about?
Cops are gonna cut his shit up next.
4 and final, transport of the coroner's case to the district morgue. I'll do that. God, it stinks. No, you and I are detectives. The honorary rank of detective signifies our ability to handle the entire incident chain. From crime scene to autopsy to cleanup, we do it all. An honor and a burden attached to your rank. Mine is Lieutenant Detective, unfortunately. I can't tell you how tired I am of this corpse. With shooting like that? Of course you are. Your station would not have assigned you to this case otherwise. I would suggest we interview Everhart and Joyce, the leader of the Union and the Wild Pines rep. But we've already done that, so it's up to you, Detective. Take us where we need to be.
He trusts you have plenty of things in a task chain lined up. The rotting man lies on his side with his eyes looking straight through you. The belt is still around his neck. His body is supine and open to intrusion by autopsy. The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
Come on, officer. You know what a field autopsy is. You've done 100 of them.
What you do know is, at 18.9 kilometers, the dormant shield volcano, Corpus Muindi, is the world's highest summit, and the failure of the 38 single, Et puis descend, to crack the top 20 was the death knell of disco. But what a field autopsy is, you have no idea. You must have me confused with the Copperpedia. You, sir, you are the Copperpedia.
Unfortunately, no. They are better than nothing. Tell you what, I perform the anatomical side of things while you will take notes. That's right.
The dead man stares in silence as you crack open the ledger. The bright red paper is covered in boxes and lists, describing the condition of his skin and organs in 3 parts. Above those, an 11-field info form needs filling out first. It begins with,
That's you.
The corpse is indifferent to the time of the dead light and great culling. Just lies there. The next box says,
KK57-0803.
KK equals Kim Kitsuragi. 57 equals Precinct 57, followed by his date, 0803, and time of arrival, 0815, on the scene. He's indexed the case after himself, not you. That's because he doesn't want to bring up the messy question of your initials.
And what would that make the alphanumeric?
HDB 41 0803. Help me out with the time of day, anyone? 1111. It's meaningful. 1015. It's understated.
Good. Let's go with that. We've heard the nom de guerre. Lely. It's better than nothing. What's next? Date of birth? NA. Roughly 50.
Try 40. The damage is so extensive, it's better to err on the young side. The corpse looks ageless, like meat on a hook.
Mondial.
Fair to olive-skinned, from the Isola of Mwindi. This is as vague as it gets. You might as well say whitish. The pudgy mess of curdled meat looks neither mondial nor anything other.
Fucky fucky!
Male.
Pigs can have sex!
Nor does he look male, with his pregnant belly and indistinguishable face.
We're still going with March 4th. 51. What else? 9. Body identified by is non-applicable. 10. Case number is the same as the coroner's case.
HDB 41 0803 listens, motionless, with the cargo belt still around his neck. Only one box remains.
I'm not seeing anything yet, but we know there's tampering here. Write down, yes, non-visual, corroborated by witness. See report. Good.
Your central nervous system recognizes this gesture. It's the stations of the breath. Ecclesiastic, religious in nature, a holdout from pre-DeLorean burial rites. It takes him 2 seconds to perform. Then, somewhere in Jamrock North, a small wood shed behind Rosenkrantz Row, Lieutenant Nick Feuerbach puts his hand to the chest of a small corpse, no larger than a monkey. It's raining outside, light drizzle. There is darkness in the shed. Elsewhere yet, an obese female sits in a wicker chair, her silhouette bull-like against the window. Outside, Grand Coudon. The day is turning dim for Sergeant Mac Dawson. Hand extended, he approaches, to make sure she is dead more than anything else. And so, all across Jamrock, Coal City, GRIH, 42 deceased persons found today, 42 stations of breath.
We should start the post-mortem.
The corpse cannot feel Kim's hand on his chest. It no longer meaningfully interacts with its surroundings. A thicket of boxes and lists on red copier paper tries to answer why.
Clothes. The deceased wears armored boots and white briefs. The make of the briefs is Babrodin, I think. Let's see.
See, it's happening.
Babrodin, yes. Inexpensive. Size M. Color white.
The disappointment is palpable. The red-haired thing was expecting something more lurid.
The boots are ceramic, vitreous enamel. They are fused to his skin from blood flowing downward post-mortem. Removal of the boots is left for processing.
It would be clever of you to omit the boots altogether, sire. If you are to keep them for yourself, as you ought to, you have deserved them more than anyone else. Patience. After the autopsy, before the body is taken away, there will be a window of opportunity. After the lieutenant has gone to sleep. I hope this has helped you, my liege.
The boot has a serial number. It's E50.100.100. The lines between the plates are in the shape of the alphanumerical. The number is purposefully concealed by the design. Tattoos. The upper torso is covered in a single, continuous tattoo, resembling a map of the night sky. It reaches from the right shoulder to the heart. The ink is blue and white. The assistant has a color photograph of the markings, to be added to the case files as document A1. The photo is taken on the scene, using a Trigat Mini. The deceased has a belt for airlifting cargo around his neck, tied with a hangman's knot. Color yellow. Length 3 meters. There is a buckle on the other end. Well-nourished, athletically built, measuring 1.8 meters. Generally consistent with age, about 50. Preservation is good. Ambient temperature, below freezing. Body hair is light brown. Distribution is consistent with age. The deceased had male pattern baldness. Hair is combed back, short.
His hair feels wet, soaked with rain, cold to touch. Not that different from a living person after a swim. The stench is suffocating. Strands of dark brown hair start sticking to your hand, like thread off a rag doll's head. More hair sticks to your hand. Hair off the rain-soaked head of a dead man. There are bumps and dips on the skull below. An alien landscape.
Lividity appears consistent with hanging, but is not. The head is congested. Contusions are present on the head and chest, consistent with stones thrown post-mortem. Low velocity.
Fucking low velocity? You think Kuno doesn't know what you're talking about? Velocity was fucking max. Talking shit about Kuno's velocity.
In addition, there are bite marks on the face, scalp, and chest, consistent with predation. Ligature mark. The steel wiring. There's too much of it. We need to remove the bell so we can get to the ligature mark.
You got just the right tool for that. The chain cutters. The hanged man lets out a joyous little bubble of rot from his nose.
Always good to think ahead. Now, we need to cut the bell to see the ligature mark below. Carefully, with as much precision as you can.
See? My pig is gonna fuck his head off.
No, he ain't. Your pig's a boring fuck.
You are? You're Kuno's pig?
The belt is equally tight around the whole circumference of his neck, swelling over the edges like white bread rising from the east. You jam the cutters right under the knot. That seems like a smart idea. Yeah, somewhere there. Already they're buried deep in the man's flesh. Then you rotate them to get a better hold. Then, a really, really bad smell is coming from there now, and some kind of cracking sound.
Yeah, fuck him. Fuck that faggoty. Corpse fucking time.
Told you my pig was hardcore.
I should have a go first. I think I have a strategy.
He sinks the cutters into the knot, preparing to perform the cuts, with his elbow to his knee, for precision. Snap. The knot is slashed. Another cut and the belt falls apart like a flower bouquet, revealing the dead man's neck and the dark red ligature mark around it.
Here. The rope rises to a point, leaving a gap in the ligature mark. The suspension point is in the back of the neck, on the nape. Hemorrhaging is observed on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. The mark is well pronounced, consistent with a drop from 1 or 1.5 meters. That he was dead? Yes. They moved fast. This is a good treatment. Chest is intact. Normal contour. Abdomen is protuberant. Pelvis intact. Genitalia...
No! It's gonna happen, see!
I fucking knew it!
Genitalia is male and unremarkable. No evidence of injury.
The dead man's penis is average-sized, congested from the downward collection of blood. The testicles are uneven in length, hanging underneath. The genitalia is greenish. Marbling is present around the crotch.
Back is symmetrical and intact. Upper and lower extremities are intact, but asymmetrical. There are combat injuries on the right hand, thigh, and hip. In addition, I see smaller, residual scars, too numerous to count, covering about 30% of his skin.
From wounds sustained over 2, maybe more decades, dispersal and accumulation indicates long and active combat duty.
We have a real museum here. Of battles, wars. Last item, hands.
His flesh is cold, icy.
Pleased to meet you. Where are you from? And I'm only fucking with you. I know where you're from. From Cappadocia. And your name is Il Kobo. What can I do for you, Il Kobo di Cappadocia? I did, Kobo, I did. Reminded me of when I was just a small boy, before this happened to my face and my body. You did me a kindness there. We should do this more often. Be close like this. I mean...
Hands are clean. No sign of injury from struggling. Not particularly, him being dead when they carried him over.
It is very hard to struggle when you're dead. Death is the end of struggle.
Ooh. That's all for the external. Well done. What next? Central nervous system. I have nothing. Do you have anything on this man's central nervous system?
Of course, there is a moral to be drawn from it. A moral to this story.
What would that be?
The dead man looks, too, with barely contained excitement to hear the moral of his story.
I think that may well be the moral of every story, officer. Good. Musculoskeletal. Purge fluid is coming from the mouth. Not injury-related. Eyes and tongue protuberant. Hyoid bone. Let's see.
With his eyes almost closed, the lieutenant puts his hand on the dead man's throat and begins to massage it, gently. A rotting smell erupts from the mouth. Purge fluid runs down his lips, black and viscous. You hear cracks as the lieutenant moves his sharp fingers inside the flesh, like the creaking of an old house at night.
Yeah, jack that fucker off!
The hyoid bone is fractured. The rest of the musculoskeletal system is intact. Unremarkable. Respiratory system. Oral cavity shows no lesions. The victim has received dental implants, possibly after a combat wound. Mouth swollen. Hemorrhaging present in mucosa of the lips and mouth.
No scream, no sigh of relief rises from the darkness inside. It's humid there. Sickly sweet air, unlike anything living. You feel like you're about to throw up again, straight in that mouth of his. It's hard. Once more, you taste stomach acid in the back of your throat. a contraction. Your throat pumps a little something from your stomach and into your mouth. You're forced to swallow, just to keep looking. Inside, you see darkness. Just a mess of meat and darkness.
There are ancient mysteries down there, Kobo. Ask me later.
Hemorrhaging present in mucus. Hepatobiliary, NA. Are you a hepatobiliary expert?
Hepato means liver, and biliary, the gallbladder and bile ducts. Nothing in your alcohol-soaked memory directs to having forensic expertise on either one.
Neither am I. That's it. Same for toxicology and serology, unless you have untapped reservoirs of knowledge there.
Reservoirs? No, but do they take obscure trivia and odd tidbits?
No. Like a toxicology screening? At this stage, I doubt processing will find anything, even if he was brimming with cocaine. But still, you should add a request. Cardiovascular. The body exhibits heavy lividity. Blood has gathered in the hands, feet, and neck. Hypostasis is visually consistent with the hanging. Gastrointestinal.
This will do.
Digested semi-solid food in stomach. Voila. What's next on the list? Let's see. We have bite marks, contusions on the head and chest, and a ligature mark encircling the neck. You'll need 3 fields. Leave a 4th one too. Oh, so we inflicted them? Okay, so there's an incision on the thorax from a chain cutter. I wouldn't mention it. Better not to muddy the waters. Be pedantic if you like, it doesn't matter. No one else is going to investigate this man's murder. And if they do, such details would only confuse them.
See? These pigs are fucking corrupt.
Why don't you fuck him if you love him so much?
Now, injuries. Head, chest and scalp bite mark injuries. Predation by birds has caused damage to the body. Odontologist does not need to be consulted. And your opinion, officer? Agreed. Next injury? So, the scalp bleeds from a post-mortem head injury, a stone. The injury does not have the rim of an early inflammatory response. The perpetrator on the scene has confessed to causing it post-mortem.
At maximum velocity, fucko!
Has confessed to causing it at maximum velocity.
Coagulated blood sticks to his scalp and chest, where the countless stones have hit the dead man. Beneath, the description of injury. 2 boxes.
Right. Next. A dark red abraded ligature mark encircling the neck, with a gap on the nape measuring, let's say, 7 centimeters. The hyoid bone is fractured, the cervical column intact. I see hemorrhaging on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. Depth of the mark, 1 centimeter. No signs of clawing on the neck.
Below the note, 2 customary boxes wait to be ticked. The man's head jerks to the side. The ring around his neck is visible.
Is what it would look like, but we know better. We know the ligature mark is a treatment. That's right. No clawing marks on the neck, no signs of struggle on the crime scene, and a witness statement from the perpetrators all confirm. Wound is post-mortem. Treatment. That's it. Field autopsy done, detective. All that remains is to see if the alleged cause of death, the bullet, is truly lodged in his brain. I'll leave that to you, colleague. Or to processing. I won't force you in there.
Oh yeah, finally. Let's get in there.
Seriously, I can just back him and drive him to the morgue anytime you tell me to. No need for heroics, unless you want to.
Shoot, loony Rooney! Oh yes, Kobo me Lobo, in the gift horse's mouth. Tracts and wakes and waterways. ancient materials buried. Just a small gulp away, my beloved Kobo. A small gulp away. Come back later, Coppo. Amuse yourself with my frank manners and my memento mori features.
I thought we decided to leave it to processing. Let's not turn this into some kind of circus.
Okay, so you can sneak out of your room maybe, after he's gone to sleep. Your arms reach out and your eyes close, as if by their own volition. It's dark all around. You feel cold, slippery flesh, first with your fingertips, then under the palm of your hand. His face, his cheeks, his nose, his fat, swollen lips. Like a spider, your hand crawls over his features. Everything is silent. The oral cavity is cold and moist. A ball-like tongue attaches itself to the base of the mouth, lolling around like a scallop. You're on the right track. The tongue moves freely in the cavity. The mucus of the mouth is slippery, delicate to touch. From the soft meat, teeth are budding. Hard pearls of bone in the gums and in the back of the mouth. Can you feel it? You're so close. Rip his jaws open now. Look in. A vision of black and dark red death, pried open by your naked hands and studded with teeth. Looks like he's laughing. Death fumes rising from the throat, and there, in the back of his mouth, above the bell of the uvula, right in the soft palate, you see a hole, barely visible to the human eye. It is swollen shut, almost vanished. No larger than 0.4 centimeters in radius, the edges appear darkened. An abrasion collar. This is what we're after.
Abrasion collar.
Kuno is silent. A black trickle of liquid runs into his throat from the wound. Your index fits right in there. A tight tunnel of flesh opens up. Tissue damage. Wide enough for 2 fingers. As you push both in, you reach through his mouth, right into his brainstem.
The fuck is happening?
Ah, shit, see?
The basal ganglia feels clumpy. The bullet has torn apart his reptilian complex. This man will never sleep again, never wake. Your fingers slide into the remains of his limbic system. There is no resistance. It's gelatinous. The slug-like structures are damaged too. The tearing extends deep into both hemispheres. This is what he used to regulate his emotions with. The lieutenant answers with the sound of his pen on paper.
Fucking cavity, see?
Your fingers are all the way in now, reaching toward the inside of his skull. The cavity goes further, but the entry wound isn't wide enough for the rest of your hand to follow. Your fingers reach toward his skull. His cerebral cortex feels like jelly, cold jelly. Strange fluid streams down your wrist as you push deeper, until you feel it on the tip of your finger. Sharp, serrated material. The edges cut right into your skin. This must be the bullet. You pick the sharp metal bullet between your index and middle finger. With your face twisting from pain and concentration, all you need to do is just...
My pig's fucking got it?
He's watching his old man get the big prize at the claw game.
What? What is it?
The inside of the head feels cold and smooth, like a glove. Sweat dripping down your brow. Careful not to lose the prize between your fingers. With a plop, your hand emerges from the mouth, covered in blood up to the wrist. Between your fingers, a small flower, a blossom made of lead.
Fucking beautiful!
A bullet.
The bullet falls in the bag, leaving a smattering of blood on the plastic. He raises the bag under his eyes and says,
A non-caliber. Rifle. Some kind of brittle alloy. Fractured on impact. Of course, you've earned it. We need to add an item to the injury list. Injury number 4. Oval entry wound with an abrasion color. Soft palate, back of mouth. High velocity. Temporary cavity in brain tissue. Small exit wound on the occiput. How does that sound? Opinion, fatal injury. And one last thing. We should amend injury number 3, ligament mark. Treatment. It's obvious the Hardy Boys tampered with it. Yes, we should take a closer look at it. I am certain it has more to tell us.
This little thing could reveal much about the weapon that shot it.
Oh, you really do. I am glad to hear you say that. Your room in the Whirling in Rags should come with a bathroom. Be sure to make use of it in the evening. We bag the corpse and carry him to the holding pen of my kinema. I can transport him to processing myself, but I will be gone for the rest of the day. Work on the case. Tend to personal matters. Try not to do anything too dangerous. An officer needs backup in a neighborhood like this. I'll leave that choice to you. And one more thing. Great work, detective.
The word lingers in the air of the yard. Far away, dogs are barking. Further yet, the sound of motor traffic. Detective.
After you bag the corpse, Lieutenant Kitsuragi will leave the party until tomorrow morning. You can do side tasks and even the main case, but it might be more difficult. Plan his exit accordingly.
Hola, Wandering Man.
There, in that container you moved, there's something rich in there. We've got to get inside. Opening the door? Come on, I shouldn't have to tell you that. Get me up close and I'll show you how it's done. You're back before the cargo container. Its drawer has not lessened since you were last here. If anything, it seems to have grown slightly. Step aside, rank and file. Savvy's at the top of the VIP list here. That's right, out of the way. Whoa, watch it. How'd he get in front? Little slime ball. Thank you. Now, are you ready? It's time to make our entrance. At first, your knock rings hollow on the door. And then, just like that, you hear a click, then a rattle. Some mechanism unlocks itself inside the door.
Ahoy! Come on in!
You can't be serious.
The man stands at the far end of the shipping container. It's hard to say anything more about him. You cannot make out any of his details, but you do feel the overwhelming presence of capital. The feeling causes all the hairs on your body to stand at attention, like soldiers preparing for review. Something's amiss. The light beams bend around his face and scatter in 1,000 directions. It seems the laws of physics do not apply here. They are suspended, distorted, and echo. Trying to visualize the physics at play is liable to give you an aneurysm. Don't think about it too hard. In the general stillness, only your tongue moves, flickering as you utter.
Welcome. Savi, was it? Make yourself at home. Sorry, I'm not better able to receive you. I wasn't expecting visitors today.
You can't hear him exactly, yet you're able to understand every word he says. It is very strange. An overwhelming hum covers everything. Voice doesn't escape from him.
Now, what can I do for you, gentlemen? Who am I? Oh, I haven't been asked that question for such a long time. I don't meet a lot of people outside my circle these days. Anyhow, my name is Rustam Diodore, investor, license holder, and extremely high net worth individual. And your name is Savi, right?
We've hit the big time. This is the man who's going to make you rich. Always rely on your friendly neighborhood swindler.
Mr. Diodore, I think there's been some confusion. His name is in fact not Savi. Let's start over. I am Lieutenant Kim Kisuragi of the RCM, and this is my partner.
Pleasure to meet you, Harrier Dubois. I must admit, the name suits you very well. To be perfectly blunt, I inherited my fortune from my grandmother, who herself was an extremely high net worth individual back in Grad. All I did was take her fortune and invest it prudently. Believe it or not, it takes more than a bit of skill not to blow a vast fortune on sailing boats, bad choices, and unsupervised state policy.
Actually, at the level this guy is, it takes several generations to do that. But, alright.
I gotta tell you, at first, being rich is a lot of work. You've got to work hard because everything's so darn expensive. You know, prices increase exponentially at this income level. But then, once you've reached my position, it's nearly impossible for me not to make money. My assets are so diversified that I'm bound to come out ahead no matter what. Some of my lower net worth friends say to me, "But doesn't that take all the fun out of it?" And I tell them, not really. Sure, and they benefit when I buy things to stimulate the economy. Do you know how many jobs it takes to build and maintain a racing yacht? Dozens, at least. Of course, in the future it'll all be automated. But my point is this. Every man gets what he earns. It's the height of tyranny to take that from him. It is truly. It's almost entirely carefree. It really leaves you time to better yourself spiritually.
Hey, all this talk about money has made you lose the thread. What is going on with the light in this place? That's what you need to ask him about.
What do you mean? Are you talking about my chin? Oh, that's what you mean. Yes, I've heard of this effect, though I've never witnessed it myself, of course. It has something to do with our Weiss-Wiesemann coefficient.
The Weiss-Wiesemann coefficient is a ratio designed to reflect the difference in net worth between individuals. When the coefficient is close to 1, or 100%, it means one person possesses all the net worth. Among that group of individuals, it's been observed that when the Weiss-Weismann coefficient reaches about 0.96 or so, the laws of physics begin to bend around the high net worth individual. The Weiss-Weismann coefficient for you and this individual appears to be 0.9998, repeating. That's not good for you.
Among other things. But calm down. I'm but a lowly single-digit billionaire. That's good.
I see nothing of the sort. To be frank, all I see is a gentleman who's unusually well dressed for Martinez, in a cargo container, which I admit is odd.
Yes, I imagine that does look strange to you. My container. Traveling. This is a great way to get around. It's fun, it's safe, and it gives me lots of time to think. By the way, let me now ask you a question. Where are we exactly?
In the very, very early days of colonizing this archipelago, the kingdom of Surens, a precursor of a modern Sur-le-Clay, used to own the city of Revachol, an obscure detail in the bigger picture, but still worth dropping.
Ah, Revachol. I remember walking its streets as a teenager. There used to be a bowling alley in Stella Maris. I wonder if it's still there. It's a shame I can't get out and explore myself. One of the downsides of being an extremely high net worth individual is that mobs of low net worth individuals are constantly banding together to ask for money. There simply aren't enough hours a day to hand out all the handouts. It's like feeding seagulls. There are always more, and they never seem to do anything interesting with it, except more seagulls. Spending money is a matter of desire. I'm sure you agree. I don't have the desire for spending it like that. Smart, no? It also provides a means to hide from all the targeted advertising we extremely high net worth individuals are constantly subjected to. Luxury yachts, high-fidelity portable radio systems, fail-proof outerwear, and so on. It just gets a bit middle class after a while. A bit bourgeois. Don't get me wrong. They're nice things, but once you achieve a certain level of wealth, your time and mental space become much more important than material goods.
He speaks from the heart. He has very different problems compared to low net worth individuals such as yourself. For example, no problems at all.
What? No, I didn't say that at all. Being rich is great. Just don't tell anyone I told you that.
I don't see how it's appropriate for a representative of the law to ask a wealthy person for money. This shines a bad light on the RCM, if you catch my meaning.
Come now. There is not even a cent of corruption here. I'm merely being polite. So, let me check my pockets. As you may know, us high net worth individuals do not have a lot of cash on hand. Investments and liquidity are enemies of one another. I think I only have coins for coffee machines. Here is 3 real. How much can you get for this? You're welcome. You know, maybe you can make that money grow. Come up with an investment plan. How's that sound?
These ultra-liberal types love losing huge sums of money on ludicrous proposals. Ergo, you should come up with a plan that's totally dead in the water.
There it is. I knew it as soon as you did the Milton 32-8 knock. A fellow entrepreneur. The art market, you say? Possibly. As I said, I don't carry much money on my person, but do go on. What are you thinking? Yes, the special knock that helps us ultras identify each other. I almost forgot it myself, but I'm getting sidetracked. Tell me about your business proposal. I'm all ears. A painter? I'm always looking to expand into new asset classes. Who's the artist? Aha! And the name of the piece?
There's no sign of a reaction for a good 3 seconds. Then,
Wonderful things, aren't they? Names. They can completely change your reading of a person, or in this case, a painting. Before I invest, I need to know more about the work. How do I know this asset is going to appreciate with time?
this is the only question that matters. Fail to come up with an interesting hook, and he's out. The comfortably wealthy want their views challenged when making a purchase. Don't hold back.
You mean even you haven't looked at it?
What he wants to know is how exclusive it is. The more untouched it is, the better.
I see. So by artificially constraining supply, you're also stimulating demand. I have to say, it's a brilliant strategy.
Wow, he worked it out all by himself. Such a clever boy. But is he gonna pay up?
Well, I think that settles it. You found a buyer, my friend. A pleasure transacting with you. However, there are a few complications. I don't have the cash on me right now to pay for art of this caliber. What I can instead offer are shares in Mauer Koszlai Mercury Group.
Shares. That's even better. You can do a lot with them if you play your cards right.
I bought these shares many years ago for a steal. As predicted, Mauer Koszlai Mercury's operating profit has increased year on year, and there is no signs of it slowing down. People always need Mercury, which means you could net yourself a considerable profit if you need some immediate liquidity. But if you don't mind waiting, I expect the value of these shares to double within the next 5 years. They're the very unit of capital. You can buy them, sell them, even sit on them if you think it wise. Trust me when I say this. Becoming a shareholder means you are part of the big leagues. It's a Gotwaldian Ilmaran company that specializes in extracting mercury. It's seen massive growth lately due to the discovery of Ryotvark mercury. Have you heard about it? At the moment, it's trading at more than 1.5 times the price of gold. That's because it's an essential component in the next generation of radio computers. RAM's using it in their next model. I can't wait for mine to turn up. My predictions say its improved speed and azimuthal range should increase my trade efficiency by whopping 46%. You really should order one if you don't want to be left behind. Splendid!
It looks almost ethereal. Is it even real?
This is a stock certificate. Well, a photocopy of one. Nevertheless, it's solid proof that you own shares in Mauer Koszlai Mercury Group.
The light around the individual in front of you changes somehow as you take the scroll. You can't figure out what's different. You just know that it is. The Weiss-Wiesmann coefficient for you and this individual has now dropped to 0.9989, repeating.
That concludes our part of the transaction. Once you've turned over the asset, my people will get the legal ball rolling. Another deal complete. Welcome to the big leagues! If you haven't already, I'd advise you to consider hiring a personal brand strategist. What don't they do? They practically do everything. From spotting good investments and analyzing design trends to booking a lunch timetable at the prestigious Landruzee. Unfortunately not. I only know the ones who work with multi-millionaires and beyond. But take a look around, and I'm sure you'll find one. Personal brand strategists are attracted to money like sharks to blood. You'll find having net worth opens many new doors for you.
Oh, and we should see what this net worth can do. Might score a discount, or better yet, get you some free goods. That's the kind of thing that really makes you feel like a hotshot. Ask the local merchants about it if you get the chance.
So, what's next on the agenda? Thanks for stopping by. If you ever have an idea you want to pitch me, I'm all ears. Welcome back, gentlemen. What can I do for you?
Deploying high-concept buzzword generator. All systems functional. Ready to engage in 3, 2, 1. It's time to disrupt the future. You've got to stay lean, innovative, and focus on what matters most. The children. Steal the union boss's idea, add a twist, and present it as your own. Very capitalistic.
A youth center, huh? What kind of youth center?
Come on, tell him what he wants to hear.
Brilliant! Without children, who'll be there to buy stuff in the future? When life closes a door, it opens a window, yes? What's the expected return on this?
You're deep into ultra-liberal territory now. Good work.
Very impressive. You've got a natural eye for unusual investment opportunities. I don't normally do this without a formal pitch deck, but to hell with it. What's the point of being rich if you have to follow all the rules? Here's a round of seed funding. This should be enough to prove out the concept and get things off the ground.
Bratan, now's your chance to take some time off. Spend it with your good buddy and get absolutely wrecked in the process. What is this shit? Calculating risks? Bratan! The risks you can't calculate are the only ones worth taking!
The lieutenant looks at you with horror. You've been mumbling to your necktie in a daze for several minutes.
Ah, yes. Now you're displaying it. The eccentricity that becomes a wealthy individual. Remember, it's not a handout. It's an investment, and I expect to see returns.
The lieutenant stands there, dumbfounded. His mouth opens slightly, then closes again. Is he having a stroke?
I'm not unimpressed. Let's leave it at that.
Now, was there anything else I could help you gentlemen with?
It's you again. What is it? So that... Yeah. Where?
Sunday night.
No.
That's it.
All right.
Could this...
Just 'cause she...
All right. You got his attention. Now,
One, maybe. 7.
definitely lie. The truth is not...
Wouldn't hurt. Why not? Maybe. From the coast. 72 per...
Definitely lie.
Wouldn't hurt to have one of those in Martinez. Still, garbage.
It's never a sample.
Or ghost. It's never.
I told you not to say that. This is not a joking matter for him.
How?
He stealth the pinball lock.
Okay.
The elevator is outside the building. Thank you.
The lieutenant...
Ruby could.
That's quiet.
I'm on it, Bob. It's
Just now. Firmly, but a...
Phase, just don't contradict yourself.
look, yeah. I don't.
This one does not like.
You're gonna.
It's...
Easy.
You don't need to prove anything. Doubt is enough for now. And tight...
That looks...
20.
God damn it.
Okay.
We just missed one. Ruby doesn't know this place, boss. Just these cops digging up shit.
Yes.
Just making sure.
Titus doesn't reply. Probably.
All right.
Pete.
Phase, the big one. Get this and they'll give her to you.
And I suppose...
Think about it.
She had really shit.
Time for a logics demonstration.
I didn't.
You probably...
It's just a thought.
Fuck you. She did.
Glenn.
Oh, so he didn't rule her out completely. And
Yeah. Like what? I think...
behind...
Yeah, but.
Girls like girls too, Angus. Sometimes. This is one of those times.
Yeah? Knew what?
Come on, Glenn.
I did. She didn't fuck.
So this is why...
Ruby then threatened her.
This is some sorted shit. It's... Figure. And that...
And then, if it's true. But it's not. Right?
Nah, man.
Plus, man.
Eugene wants a woman on the team so they can do their job.
Yeah.
Wishful. The more logical conclusion that you wish to avoid is that she knew.
Silent, the old... A very... This is the...
Yeah. I don't... She was a...
She knew there's.
Perhaps. Friday afternoon. I told you. You. Yes, you. The cop with the sideburns and the disco clothes. Sure. You know, when I first saw you limping, she said, until you fucking open...
It's not in silence.
Yeah. There was something. She's not...
Good fucking...
Yeah.
She's not.
She's not, Glenn. A little.
Where have.
More precisely, on the coast. Sure, I hear they have a shack.
We will start there.
Boyish. Hair's red. It'll have to.
His grip is firm and reassuring, like holding a piece of unpolished granite. Not just granite, tightly packed RCM sergeant
When are you...
and...
No, this is
She's...
There was a murder in.
I. There's not.
I see, man.
You should look around your shack. As you look at the edge of hollow space under nothing but something bad, you stick a small, a 9, the floorboard. And with that,
Gone and. Yes, as I've. She came.
That's for the police to find out.
Yes. I click. No.
the truth.
She's.
Did she told you?
No. She tried not to let. How?
You-
I do tell. That bad? It's nothing. She isn't what you call a drunk. I don't.
It's...
You'll not.
I wouldn't worry about that, man.
Are you sure you?
No. Behind the cinder block houses. Oh.
One thing, she's a good.
The legend! He... my kind of guy. He... bottoms up, Captain. Here you go, Fred.
That...
unhygienic. This stuff is very hygienic.
Tequila sunset. Things have really turned around for you, haven't they? You've got big money problems now. Don't be shy, Tequila. Of course I'll do it. I'm your man. Your personal brand strategist man. Now, I know I'm not your typical choice. I don't wear a suit, I'm not 100 years old, I'm not about to die tomorrow. But I've got something the others don't. I'm on your level. And as I already understand your needs, I can marry my high-concept ideas with your brand easily. I'll help you make your mark.
Great can-do attitude. A billion real mindset. Clinically insane energy. Hire him on the spot.
No, Tequila, no. I'm a professional, you see. I insist that you give me a formal interview. It wouldn't be fair on the other candidates if you didn't. What do you need to know?
What you truly want to know is, can you really trust your entire fortune to a drunk who lost his house keys while out for a jog?
I used to be a moderately high net worth individual myself, if I can say so. I've managed big money before, played the game, hustled the movers of the marketing world. At the Boom Boom Room, I directed a team of talent architects. People so high concept their names were nothing but a single letter. We had manic ideas, fueled by copious amounts of coffee-flavored whey powder. We did stuff no one had ever seen before, or since.
We're going to need examples here. Just going by one of your initials doesn't cut it.
Numbers? How about 15 fucking years of jamming art into people's heads? That's hundreds of high-concept ideas developed and executed for those fancy corpoys in their suits. The result? Millions of real generated for clients. I've made my name in this world. Tequila. Whatever's going on in my reality situation doesn't have any bearings on yours. This is all about you and your future. Ask me about that. Drinking is the fuel to my fire. Moistens me up to ensure the high concepts have a smooth landing. Ah, shit.
He could definitely work more on his hand-eye coordination.
Okay. Let me get a sip first. You see, net worth means nothing to the people of Martinez. Nada. Null. For them to see your wealth, to really respect that, you need to convert it into something real, something tangible. The bigger the better. The Horseback Monument. That's the center of the district. They'd have to pay attention to that. We could get your name up there in lights. Damn thing's due for a reconceptualization anyway.
You're aware that monument is supposed to look like it's exploding. It doesn't need renovating.
I didn't say renovating. I said reconceptualization. It's medium concept shit is what it is.
The level of conceptualization could always be higher, yes. But what would it cost?
Nothing up front. That's because I always put the client first. My cut'll come out of the back end, after we've made you a sensation.
We really haven't got time for this. In case you've forgotten, we are supposed to be investigating a murder.
And forget about contractors and the like. This job I'm handling personally. Concept and execution. Any unexpected expenses we'll take care of later. Can't let price compromise the work. Easy. That's it. I'm back! Sorry about that, my friend. This isn't about me. This is about you. Of course. A chance for you to give back to the community, to get your brand out there, to teach them your name. I can already see it. Tequila sunset, spelled out in cathode rays, luminous against the evening sky. There won't be a single kid in this town who doesn't know who you are.
This is a good moment to bring up his drinking. He'll get nothing done if he continues like that.
Whoa there! No need to worry about that. I've got it all under control. Besides, it helps with my creativity. Gets the business juices flowing, you know? Exactly. I just know I wouldn't be able to deliver the hot shit you're after without it. Give me half an hour, my friend. In fact, I demand you to sit down here and not move until I'm back. Open a beer. Chat with your old pals.
The lieutenant massages his temples and looks down at the ground. There is little time for this.
Relax. I see you both running around like maniacs, just back and forth, back and forth. Gotta live a little. Enjoy the day.
He turns his swollen face against the snow, droplets of beer freezing in his beard.
Exactly. Just give me a minute or two.
Before you know it, the man has put down the bottle, stood up, and left. Minutes pass. The clouds change shape up in the sky. You chat a bit with old Rosemary. Then, try to strike up a conversation with Don't Call Abigail about something other than Abigail. To no avail. It's all about Abigail. The lieutenant sits silent the entire time, preferring to focus on his notebook. Clearly, we have better things to do than sit down and chat with a bunch of drunks. After what feels like ages, you hear the fence creaking as if under a large weight. Look at him. Just look at him. It's Idiot Doomspyro. He's back, like a beast made of jaundice and fetid polypropylene. He returns locked in stiff combat with a most fearsome foe.
I know. Ran into some problems there. Material shortages and the like. But don't worry. Genius thrives under constraints. That's why you pay for the best.
What an athlete. There should be a new word for drunk moves like that. Like alcoholite or gymnast. He can't even walk straight. How did he write your name in cathode rays?
Of course I am. When you're ready, and I don't think you ever will be, just head on over to the Horseback Monument. You'll see. World's gonna know about you, me, and the shiny numbers in our bank account.
The lieutenant closes his notebook and nods at you. ready to go.
But if there's anything else your old friend can do for you, let me know.
You pick up the handset. There's a tone. Calling, calling, calling. Still.
Stop calling. I'll get you your money, alright? My debt.
He does disconnect.
Are we about?
Calling.
From
Sounds like he.
like
The man. You do not. Lucky you. The call went to. You closed straight. You dial 04111. Yes. 4 and ultra calling, calling, calling. The lieutenant is too far away to hear. Calling, 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 calling. Then the.
Hello? Who is this? Dora.
Dora in the distorted distance. No answer. You're not.
What? Oh no.
This is too much. You need to recede.
Oh no, not this. What time is it? You're not a high net worth individual.
You only have 2, maybe 3.
Because it's me. Look, I don't understand. Oh God. Do you know what time? It's 4 o'clock, Harry. No. I want to go to... What do you want to talk...
This is bad.
Yes, I'm in Moreover. To work. The academy. Where I work.
No response. Only a sigh. The connection cracked. She does not.
Harry.
Disconnect tone. The machine ran out of money. You dial in the calling, 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 calling. It looks like she does not want to pick it up, Harry. Calling, calling.
Harry, please. Please. I'm going to hang up.
Phone hanging up. Disconnect tone. You dial the number. Calling, 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 and calling for who knows how long. Metal?
That over there.
Ooh. You lift the ball. The number.
Simple construct.
There's something in. It smells like you would. A shot.
Well, damn. We still got here too late. I have no idea. I wouldn't go so far as to say that. This is only a small... Might have been...
You could ask the miss what she
Who's that? Down to what?
That's sarcasm.
Oh no, it's of course.
The 881 is a raid.
You broke the waterlock with a motor carriage. There was a billboard in the canal.
Did he?
Yes. I just have to do one more round. See if the phasmid has taken. I'm afraid.
The lieutenant takes a short...
Which is why we've been need. Good question. And I suspect it may have all... It's my hot, but I cannot...
Yes, a ghost insect.
No, that is precise. I'm expecting it to be quite typical. Even... Good question. And I suspect it may have also... Very... Not... I know...
It's...
By which I mean... I've heard in... Yes, it's the first credible... Yes, it's the first... I have to...
He means asexual...
Yes, Insulindian phasmid. Well, yes. Simple, at least. That locusts.
A meat-eating stick insect. Does it pretend?
Thank you.
Not a big fan of skepticism.
They'll work, I assure you. Yes. What? By my wife.
Come on.
And leave the...
Come on. She wants us.
Of course. Yes.
Needless to...
Suffice to say, it's long been our dream. Good. A good quality to have. I didn't expect you to take such an interest in our work here. Caught the...
My partner went.
Oh, yes, officer. There are another, the third. You should check at least one. Bring it.
He's not comfortable with...
That's hot. It's made of Muscom research chemicals.
It's not...
I hope you're not back.
It is precious.
Right.
Final.
Thank you for your help.
If it's more... But what if the information is vital? Yellow.
I'm just waiting for... I like...
Degenerates. This man respects authority too much. Just...
I...
Serious question time.
I...
He winks. It's a secret rite. A very fringe.
Ma.
His eyes wide.
Really? I hear it all the time. Okay, you're not going to find me, are you? Oh.
This...
And I'll... No.
What did you do, Gary?
I know. So I'm...
Disgrace.
He studies his reaction.
Officer, I was only cleaning up. Then I... Okay.
Right.
Exactly.
As he shifts uncomfortably, a series of clicks.
What sound? I haven't the slightest. There's lots of weird stuff out here in the reeds, though. Armor?
An infant could see. There's something going on here.
I hope I could help your investigation. In my small...
That shirt looks very... Yes.
I knew I was a...
When...
Gary!
Later...
No. You've got explaining to do.
He sighs again, hangs his head, and unbuttons his shirt fully. A cuirass that matches the dead man's boots comes into view.
Yes, absolutely. I will never do anything like this again.
There's a trap in the reeds at your behind you. Look.
Big soup. No, you weren't.
This is this trap.
Another one. Yep.
takes you the trap, no locus, no phasmid either. The netting is a little untidy, messier than the others, like someone or something picked.
We did, sort of.
An old monument stands in the middle of the traffic island. It is surrounded by scaffolding that has been haphazardly erected around it. A matrix of metal tubes and wooden planks jut out at odd angles. A miserable tarpaulin covers up the horse and rider, flapping in the cold coastal air. There are no lights that spell out your name. No workers with calloused hands leering from above. Just construction materials displayed as if to mourn your misplaced dreams. There's not an ounce of artistry here. It's even worse than expected. That son of a bitch scammed you, probably to make fun of you. This is not what that personal brand strategist of yours promised. No one even knows that you're paying for this reconceptualization. Go and have a word with him. Find out what's going on. The old king looks defiantly to the west, wrapped in makeshift scaffolding like a mummy.
Tequila sunset. No one does it better than me, eh? I was able to get it all together, and so fast, too. No wonder I used to be an industry leader. Listen, I can feel it in my guts. A bright future awaits you. The one and only Tequila Sunset. You're already building great brand equity. No doubt the profits will come rolling in shortly. Of course not. Your trademark will be all over it as soon as the workers can get to it. The strike's holding them up. Not much I can do about that. I guarantee the papers will pick it up once it's all finished. With photos and everything. You'll be the talk of the town. Investing into the community, creating value, giving back. Don't spend a single brain cell worrying about it. Just leave it all to me. The final outcome will be spectacular. Just takes a little time. Anything else?
In your hand, the cover, feet, the tag, need.
Are you? Good luck.
The point is, why? If you, the story spill an extremely unprofessional and hurtful. 2 days desperate to clear his name.
What's the matter?
The lieutenant, they're not shitting. Of course, Mullen didn't do it. And not just any dame. She's truly one in a million. Secrets are the currency of human relation. Deneuve revealed not only is the local police captain in on the outwardly, he would certainly have the motive. A typical, the kid doesn't exactly have the Torvald. That said, outward, he would certainly have the motive. A typical, the kid doesn't exactly have. That said, he outwardly, he would certainly have the outwardly, he would certainly have the motive. Outwardly, the old police, he would certainly have the one evening. Well, that testimony won't be admissible any longer. As the two, I love whatever it is, Mullen, in your hand, you. It's getting late and it's
good night.
The man is decomposing visibly. The body is reluctant to let go of the boots, as though it were its last bit of dignity.
Well,
Yeah, fuck it to pieces for us, liar cop.
It's not completely useless. You're able to reveal a little more of the putrid polymer sock beneath the boot. It feels like the leg is going to come off along with the boot, but you're able to get the boot to move a centimeter or two. It's heavier than you'd think. You're forced to drop it back down immediately. The corpse lands on the ground with a nauseating thud, looking even sadder than before. Damn, you're out of shape. In your defense, the corpse was quite slippery. Something cracks in the left leg. It really is about to come off. The leg, I mean, not the boot. You may want to slow down. Don't tear into it like that. This is the right method. It takes some time, but eventually the boots come off, with nasty slices of polymer sock stuck to even bigger pieces of skin and rotting flesh.
Look, he's skinning the fucker up good. Poop.
Hell, keep at it, pig.
The legs look like they've been clawed at by wild animals. As for the boots, you can't possibly do anything with them until you've cleaned and disinfected them thoroughly. Yes, these absolutely need to be washed before. The stink is incredible. Didn't the Whirling have a kitchen?
Hola, wandering man. Los Ardi? They're sort of like you.
Is he act? Come on. He's just trying.
Why not? But we're negotiating. Aye. All of it.
This seditious talk sounds like communism. Just so we're on the same page.
Sure thing.
What is this? News of the world? Talk about person.
Call me Mañana. I'm just a humble harbor worker for the past 6-7 years.
Mañana sounds not a given name for certain. It's a...
I'm not. I'm Bashol yet. Plenty to go around. So, and now that we are getting so well acquainted, what's your name? Harry. It's cool, but I'm sure you could come up with something even cooler.
Your mind can only conjure up hunk handy. Fuck it.
It can take time to come up with a good one, for sure. We're negotiating. Aye.
The man whispers a jaunty tune. A coastal breeze.
The mercenary, eh? That's so. I haven't heard anything about that. He was an agent of the opposition, attempting to undermine our... I ain't the murdering type.
He believes that.
No problem. I wish the best to you in your search.
These boots were probably left on the corpse because they were impossible to pull off while it was hanging. They're not exactly pleasant to look at right now, much less smell. You'll know more about them once you run the serial number you found. The size seems about right, once you get the foul-smelling flesh gunk out. You've seen too much to be that naive. Even if you don't remember it, you'll never know what it was like to be him. This industrial gas-powered stove has been used to prepare food for many hungry hostel guests. There are several pots and pans on hand. Getting the corpse residue out of these boots is going to require patience, and also a huge pot full of boiling water, soap, and white vinegar. A commercial pot draws your attention. It's very large, gigantic even. It could be used to make enough stew to feed an entire city, and also to boil a putrid pair of death boots. There is a variety of soaps and bleaches in the cabinet to the left of the stove. There is also a bottle of white vinegar in the cabinet next to the fridge. It's bad with those boots. Don't be stingy now. The bottom of the pot fills with shiny white goo. All right now, chef, light up the stove and boil them. The soap bubbles over the rim of the pot. The water slowly comes to a boil. Strips of polymer fabric and human tissue separate from the lining of the boots. They float to the bubbling surface. A 2-course dinner of rotten flesh and hardened ceramic. The boots look cleaner and cleaner. Those bits of human flesh are beginning to look cooked. You can smell it too, just like beef stew. That's it, chef. The boots are as clean as they're going to get. Steam dense with the smell of strange meat disappears into the vent above the stove. The boots look clean, but still smell funky. Feels like you should have used vinegar too. The strong vinegar odor forces you to take a few steps back from the stove. The whole kitchen now smells like white vinegar, but maybe your boots won't smell like a corpse. A pair of real beauties. The boots are shiny, hot, and reek of vinegar. Just perfect.
Ah, shit. That's right, pig. Shit. The fuck about it? Kuno doesn't give a shit about the armor. Kuno's fuck gimp's got one big thing wrong with him. He's a fucking mutant. Look at him. Fucking growth hormone shit. He's a giant. The armor's too big for any man. Kuno doesn't give a shit about that freak armor. Kuno threw that shit away. Kuno tried to get the helmet on. It was too big. Kuno kicked that shit in the sea, rugby style. That shit means nothing to Kuno. Yeah, that shit means nothing to Kuno. Kuno doesn't give a shit about material shit. Kuno's a fucking monk. You wanna fuck on someone about that armor? Go fuck the mustached union fuck. The jolly troubadour shit at the gate. Yeah, cocking boot. You know that jolly union cow fucker? Came around talking about cows or some shit? Came around pretending like he cares about cows?
Yes, you met him at the gates. The one with the boots and the jolly smile.
Yeah, he's the one you want to talk to. He's fucking crazy about that armor shit. Coming here pretending like he likes cows. Trying to catch a peep at Kuno's armor.
Curious, my liege. Why did Kuno feed you this information?
Yeah, Kuno's doing charity today. Kuno Day. Kuno feels sorry for you, loser pig. Kuno's doing pity now.
Still, seems suspicious. He may have it in for that guy. Or you may be paranoid. That is also a possibility, sire.
Fuck are you talking about? What is this contusion shit?
He says you're stupid, Kuno. They want to make you stupid again.
Oh, did Kuno make your shit sniffing harder? Obstruction of shit sniffing? This is Kuno's kingdom. Kuno fucking rules here. You're testing Kuno's patience here.
Get lost,
Kuno doesn't fuck.
The worn map features the patchwork grid of the streets of Martinique. It's getting late. The bed is comfy. The bed...
Like a deftly cast fishing net.
How?
This...
Because you know, you...
Here that is much...
Which...
The last dream will be total enough.
Of...
Everything is so... You're right.
The last...
Hola, wandering man. How can I help you now? The little boy had the good on his promise. To get me into trouble. To sick the pigs on me. Pardon the choice of words. Not mine.
What happened?
I was asked to look into that armor situation. Official Union probe, you know. Track it down, see who took it.
Did you?
At first I thought, why not? Maybe the pieces can feed the strike. Buy us a few more days under the sun, you know? So I went to this boy. He said he'll make me his prison bitch. He's got eyes everywhere, the cops in his pocket, and he's the king of Jamrock. Serves me right for doing menial footwork. I dropped that probe right then and there, and it still got me into trouble. One bad move is all it takes. It's a minor nuisance. It's all good. I learned that people don't want to talk to a drunk Union man about some armor.
What else?
Not much. Technical stuff mostly. That was the interesting part. I did some research into this armadura. Let's say I have friends at the library. I didn't get into the material science, just how it comes off.
How does it come off?
In parts. 4 in total. The helmet was the first to go. The kid says he tore it off and kicked it into the sea. I believe him. The boots? Well, it looks like you're wearing them. So, as I count, there are 2 parts missing. The gauntlets and the cuirass. This is where I left off. Too much hassle. More like a job for some militia. Oh, they're just gone. They don't exist anymore, if they ever did at all. Forget about them. I did.
All of it? There are junior officers out there, eager to prove themselves. I would leave some for them, but okay. Let's find all of it.
It's implied he finds it unlikely that you will succeed in this.
A mesquite epic then, all across Martinez. I hope it will be a real bonanza for you. No problem. If you see that kid, thank him from Call Me Mañana. Thank him for showing me the way.
You look down at the white ceramic sabatons hugging your arches and calves, surprised at how well they fit. Your movements cause tiny little clicks, like dice rolling somewhere far away, as the plates reorient to your motions. The hardened vitreous enamel, at once sleek and light, adds a glow to your cheeks and a spring to your step. Just imagine what a full suit of this stuff could do for you. You really do feel more confident. Invulnerability does that. Even partial invulnerability. It may be a while before you have all the pieces. In the meantime, you should analyze the armor, figure out its vulnerabilities. Remember, this is a highly specialized kinetic redistributor meant to stop bullets. Wear it, observe its properties, see if there's a weakness in the design. For the day you have to fight someone covered in the same material.
Right, sad piggy. I'll give you this one. I saw a little girl in the fishing village running around with military-grade handwear. Looked cute as hell.
Could that girl have been little Lily? It's not a bad place to start.
Could have been her. Small kid with giant white armored hands. If you've seen one of them, you've seen them all.
Hello, mister. Oh, I had gloves. Very big ones. Heavy, too.
Where did you get these gloves?
Found them when Lemmy and I were playing hide and seek. In an empty house. Where no one lives. I think someone hid them there.
She doesn't want you to think she stole them.
I hid them. The twins were gonna take them. They're stupid.
We're going to need those gloves. It's for important police business.
Oh. They're in my sandcastle. Behind our house. Under the sand. You can break the castle. It's not... Bye!
Weather has not been kind to Lily's little sandcastle. The once mighty towers are quickly eroding away. You can see something shining back to you from what must have been a vast underground catacomb network.
The little castle? The reigning lord must have come upon some really tough times to let it sleep in such decrepitude.
The walls and floors give way to the giant's greed, collapse and present you with a pair of ceramic gauntlets.
Congratulations. That's the gauntlets down then. We're doing good on the armor collection front.
Around the old monument has been taken down. In its place are the spoils of your investment. Numerous rods and ropes still hold the original reassemblage in place. A cardboard sign hangs from the arm, pointing out to sea. Written in shaky marker pen are the words, "Pale swallows all." What was once a gesture of great power has been hijacked to signal the ceaseless march of annihilation.
Hard to disagree with the sentiment, considering what we just survived.
Citizens must be warned. This is not only a declaration of the dead, but a warning for those still alive. It comes indomitably.
Detective, I have a few questions, if you don't mind. About this pursuit of wealth Pursuit of recognition.
He nods, eyes still on the doomcrier above, on the arm holding out the portent of the cold air.
Why did you do it? I don't think anything. I'm just asking questions.
You've been through a catastrophe and still haven't reaped a single benefit from this doomspeak. Drop it already.
One more question, if you don't mind. Was it all worth it? Ah, yes. Spoken like a true businessman. All right, shall we? We still have some things left to do before we can go home. I don't think we have time for that. And even if we did, I doubt he's around anymore. Everyone's left. Sure, whenever you're ready.
The doomcrier towers above, mounted on a horse. Numerous rods and ropes still hold the original reassemblage in place. And just like that, and
It's gone. Apparently, yes. Like a what? Looks like a nest or something.
What now?
Brother, you've managed to collect all the armor pieces. Too bad it's too late for the big showdown. Future use for a future armor. Agreed. Gear up, heavy porcelain man. It's a violent world.